welcome everyone. We're going to officially start the stream and start talking about Star Citizen. So the reason I wanted to do this stream, again, this is Random Game Wednesday, but this is a special edition. So we usually live stream on Wednesdays and we'll play a game. But I want to do something a little different this morning, and we'll see how it works out. Again, hopefully we'll get some interaction on the chat. But if not, I just want to talk about Star Citizen. So I've been a backer for a while, and everybody out there seems to be, covering Star Citizen and talking about it. So I actually have been a backer for, let's see here, see if I can show you guys. I have been a backer since December of 2014, and I just realized that was 8 years ago. So I've known about this game for quite a while, and I actually put money into this game way back in 2014. Now, the reason I have kind of stayed away from really covering this a lot on the channel is because everybody was kind of doing it. There was a ton of content out there, and I just didn't want to jump on the bandwagon. I figured anybody that was interested had plenty of resources to find out about the game. However, last week when we were doing our Random Game Wednesday, one of my subscribers, Jay, jumped on, and he hadn't ever really heard of Star Citizen. He didn't know much about it. And I kind of realized at that point, there may be several of my viewers that don't know about Star Citizen. And this is going to be potentially one of the most immersive games ever. So again, get your game on. We're all about immersive gameplay. And this game has the potential to be basically a virtual life in a whole alternate reality. So I'm like, all right, I probably should cover that. And then the other reason I wanted to cover it is, right now, there's a holiday sale, and it's probably the best holiday sale I've ever seen Star Citizen or CIG Cloud Imperium Games ever offer. So if you were ever interested in this game, now is probably the perfect time to get involved. And we're going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to talk about gameplay. I'm actually going to do some live gameplay. Again, this is all just a replay of some of the past footage from other demos and stuff like that. But let's start off. So what is Star Citizen? Well, Star Citizen is a lot of things. If I had to use one word to describe it, I would say ambitious would be the word I would use to describe it. So they call it a first-person universe versus like a first-person shooter. It's a first-person universe. And I would even add the word streaming. So it's a first-person streaming universe, so it's seamless. You never get load screens. Everything is just continuous from the time you leave a planet to the time you go to a space station, all that stuff. So basically what the game is its own little IP or universe that takes place in two segments. So there's the sandbox game, which is Star Citizen, and that's this huge universe that's been created that you can go out and you can be a pirate, you can be a merchant, you can be a miner, you can be a salvager, you can be a mercenary. So pretty much anything you want to do in this universe, you can do. So within this universe, there's also another part to the game, and the other part to the game is called Squadron 42, and that's your more traditional single-player adventure, single-player story-driven game. And it all takes place, again, in the Star Citizen universe, but that is your military exploits. So what the idea behind that is, you join the military, you're going out on missions, and you're basically going to have a story-driven game to play. Now, they've already filmed all the cutscenes, they've had all the actors, and they've had some pretty top-tier actors involved on this, too. Mark Hamill, Gillian Anderson. I mean, there's just a ton of big names that have already done their acting, and all that stuff's been filmed. So the Squadron 42, for those of you that remember Wing Commander, which is Chris Roberts' original game, that's Chris Roberts is the developer of this game. This is the successor to Wing Commander, basically. So Squadron 42 will be the newer version of Wing Commander. And then that wraps into the Star Citizen universe. The idea is, once you've done the story-driven game, you basically muster out of the military and you join the universe at whole. Now, it's a multiplayer game. It's basically kind of an MMO. So you have multiple people out here. And the idea is to have it as a single server, so to speak. So everybody will be in the universe at the same time. You're not going to have to join a separate shard or server to be on, make sure you're on with your friends. Theoretically, it's all going to be one open universe that everybody will be able to participate in at the same time. So it's an absolutely beautiful game. So that's kind of Star Citizen in a nutshell. And, how did it get started? Well, again, Chris Roberts was the developer of Wing Commander, and he became very prominent in the 90s. So what ended up happening, though, for Chris is he ended up selling off his gaming company, and he got really disenfranchised with kind of what was happening. He was forced to deliver a game way before it was ready, and that really put a bad taste in his mouth. He did not want to ever be forced to put out a game that he didn't feel was at the top tier that he expected. So he actually got out of gaming for a while. He went to Hollywood. He did some movie making. Lord of War, I think, is probably one of his most famous movies with Nicolas Cage. So he did that, but he always missed the gaming side, and he wanted to come back. But he didn't want to be forced to put out another game that was not up to his standards. So back in the day, in 2012, he started the launch of Star Citizen, the concept, and the announcement's down in the description below if you want to watch it. But he had this vision for this game. It was the next Wing Commander, and he had all these thoughts that he wanted to do. And at that time, it was going to be a fairly small game. It was going to be on par with some of the games he had done earlier, and this thing just exploded. And to give you guys some context, basically what had happened, that was at the time where all the mobile gaming stuff was taking off. I mean, you had everything with smartphones and tablets, and everybody talked about how PC gaming was dead, and that, the future was all the mobile games. And for those of us that are heavy into PC games, we didn't really appreciate that. And apparently I'm not the only one, because once he announced this, there was so much interest that it crashed their initial servers, that they were just, basically just a website that talked about the game. Those crashed as soon as he announced this. So it's pretty funny to watch the announcement, because at the end he gets the notice and he's like, oh, you can see in that moment he realizes that this is something that actually might have legs and might take off. So it's kind of fun to watch. And again, I've got a series of videos that I've linked down in the description. So he did the traditional Kickstarter. And again, this was back when Kickstarter was kind of new. And he ended up starting the Kickstarter campaign. He made his funding goals, but it didn't stop there. And it kept going and kept going. And to date, Star Citizen is the largest crowdfunded game ever created. And as of right now, you can see here, it's over $500 million in funds. So we're at $538 million. So this has been a very successful venture. It's achieved what he wanted to do. It's given him the resources to be able to build the game he wants to build. And with all the interest, back when we started, you can see there's this list of kind of the stretch goals that were akin to Kickstarter campaigns. And this is way back. I don't know if we got a date or not. Oh, yeah, here you go. So this is October 30th, 2012. And you can see the goal was to get to $2 million. And then, boy, if we could get there. And then, oh, boy, if we get up to, $3 million and all that stuff. And these were all the stretch goals. And, that they were just, pie in the sky here. And here you go. Their biggest one, you come all the way down here to the stretch goals. We're talking 23 million, 25 million. Can you believe that happening? And if you come all the way down, you can see that at the end of the day, their biggest stretch goal was 65 million. That was, oh my goodness, if that ever happened, that would be amazing. And again, now we're at over 500. So because of all these stretch goals, that little game that he envisioned grew in scope and size pretty dramatically. And this is all on the Roberts Space Industry website if you're interested in reading through it and see what happened there. So basically, that's kind of what happened with Star Citizen and how it got started and the funding that's made it successful. So basically, what's happened? Why is it taking so long? I've heard this is a scam. I've heard that this game will never be finished. So let's talk about a little bit of that. So first and foremost, this game is not a scam. This game is actually 100% not a scam, and I can tell you that because you can actually play it, and I will show you some gameplay. We'll go into my account, and we'll do a little gameplay here in just a bit. So it's not a scam. Now, whether the game's going to ever be a top-tier game that's not buggy or that actually functions the way you envision, that's a whole different subject. But this is not a scam. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this right now was because currently there's some really good promotions going till January. January 10th is the end date for this promotion. So I want to get the word out to anybody that's ever looked at this game or may be interested in this game because, again, there's some really good things going on. So let's go ahead and we'll just go to the page here. So what's happening right now through Christmas is this Luminatia, which is kind of the Star Citizen Christmas. And the reason I wanted to let you guys know about this game now is because there's a couple really cool things happening. So first and foremost, anybody that signs up and buys a package, any base package, automatically gets this free ship. So you'll get this little utility vehicle. It's called the Argo. And basically, it's a little utility craft that will help you in the universe. But the point being that you can actually almost double your ship count by buying a base package. So let's talk a little bit about how you get involved with this. So one of the big reasons I was interested in Star Citizen, I hate subscription games. I can't stand paying a monthly fee for a game that I may play that month, I might not. So subscription games, I subscribe to Star Wars Galaxies because I love Star Wars, but I, in general, hate subscription games. It's what kept me out of EVE Online and all that stuff. So the very first thing I want to know when I looked at Star Citizen was, okay, is it going to be a monthly subscription? No, it's not. So that was the first thing that was important to me. I was like, okay, so you mean I can buy this game once and then I have access to it indefinitely, and that's the way it works. So all you ever have to buy in this game is a base starter package, and that's it. You never have to spend another dime on this game if you don't want to. And so those are the things that really intrigued me. So let's go through the process and just say that you wanted to get involved in this game. And we'll just start from scratch. We'll just go to a new website here, and we're going to type in, to start, Roberts, and you can see how it comes in, Space Industries. So Roberts, Space Industries. I'll type it in anyways. Maybe. And we hit enter, and it takes us to the main page. And again, if you guys watching have any comments, feel free, throw them up, and we'll talk about whatever you're interested in. So this is going to take you to the base game. So you have join the universe, start the adventure, follow the development. So we're going to go here and go join the universe. And what I would recommend if you're interested in starting this game is you come over here to account, and you're going to be faced with this little sign in here. And what you want to do is hit this Enlist Now button. So when you hit this Enlist Now, the account name that you put in there is very important that you pick something because that's going to be your tag. That's what everybody's going to see your name as. So don't just type in a series of stuff thinking it's just an account name. This is going to be your call sign, your tag in the actual game itself. So put in something that you want to be known by, and then just fill in, your name, email, and put a password in, all that good stuff if you want to stay informed and get future info. But here's the key thing if you want to get the bonus stuff. So when you do this, go to this add code, okay? And that's going to open up this window here. And that's where you want to type in the code that you can see up here. So it's STAR and it's WBJT-WNNL. So you would type that in right here. WBJT, okay? WNNL. There you go. Just don't click in there because it messes up. So once you do that, and when you enlist, then once you buy a base package, it's going to give you 5,000 credits in-game, which are called UEC. So you get that above anybody that just signed up and did it. So it gives you 5,000 of those. And, again, if you do it before January 10th, you're also going to get this cargo ship. And so I highly recommend, if you've ever thought about doing it, now is the time. Here's the other reason I think now is the time potentially to join this game. Because let's go ahead and go to the Pledge Store. This is where you buy your game packages. So basically, if you see, we've got all these starter packages, and right now they're discounted. And these are the two that they recommend. But what I would like to show you is there's a whole series of them. They keep it kind of easy so that you don't have to worry too much about it. So again, let's go to Luminatia, which is the Christmas thing. And basically what you do is we'll go to the Refer a Friend thing and find out more. And so this talks about all the bonuses. So again, until January 10th, you get the 5,000 UEC, and you also get the Argo multiplayer utility vehicle. So all you have to do is spend a minimum of $40 on the game, and what you will do there is, let's go to the Pledge Store, and you will pick a package. And basically, there are tons of packages all discounted right now. So again, the only thing you ever have to buy at the bare minimum, if you bought this Aurora starter package right there, $40, $40.50, that's it. You never have to spend another dime on this game to play Star Citizen. And you can play what's going on now in the alpha right away. The only add-on you may want to consider is there's this Squadron 42. So let's say you have no interest in the MMO. You hate multiplayer, you hate PvP, you hate all those people. Well, you may want to purchase just the Squadron 42 standalone pledge. So this will give you the story-driven game when that's released, and it's still years out. They're still working on it. But if you have no interest in the MMO part of it and you just want to play the story-driven game, the Squadron 42 package is what you need. $45 for a AAA game, and then you're done. You have it when it comes out. If you buy a starter package and you still also want to play the Squadron 42, there's an option when you pick your starter package to add the Squadron 42 to it. So if you did that, you would have the whole game, single player and multiplayer, all ready to go. So that's what I did. I actually bought the whole thing. I bought a starter package, and then I also added the Squadron 42. But look at all these great discounts. So as I said, this is a perfect time to get involved in the game, and this is all you would ever spend. Everything else in the game, all these, I mean, you can scroll down here. It gets kind of crazy. They have, you could spend $1,100 on this thing if you wanted to. You could spend, $250. You can spend a ton of money, but that's the key to Star Citizen. You don't have to spend that much. And all these games, all these ships, all these bigger ships, all these expensive ships are all purchasable in the game itself. So that to me is what makes Star Citizen a really cool deal. And that's why I was interested in it. And because it could potentially be the coolest game ever made. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, if you don't like games that are buggy, that you're always getting glitches or that are a struggle from time to time with crashes or disconnects, stay away from this game until it's finished. Circle back around in a few years when the game's actually done. Do not get involved with it now. If you're the type that'll bash your keyboard into the monitor when you have problems, this is not the game for you. But if you're the type of person that likes to push technology and likes to live on that technological edge of what is possible, this game is pushing all kinds of boundaries. They've already achieved things that people said would never be possible. And everybody said there's no way you can make a game that you could leave from a planet and go all the way into space without a load screen. They've already done that. They have entire planets developed. There's a big note also. Again, you can see all these ships. Which ship is perfect for you is a whole nother video. Again, if you're curious about that and you're in the chat, throw something up and I can kind of run you through it. But all these ships have like ship commercials. There's tons of Star Citizen videos that cover each individual ship. So there is a ship out there for you and your playstyle. I can guarantee you that. So that's a whole nother thing. But anyhow, so let's get into the game a little bit and actually show you what this is. And this is why I say this isn't a scam, because you can play this now. So we're going to go into, let's go ahead and close this down, and then let's go ahead and stop this gameplay trailer, and let's just get to the launcher. All right, so here we are. So we've got the game. And so another quick note about Star Citizen. So they were supposed to have the brand new patch out before the end of the year. So that was 3.18, and you can see here it's 3.17. And I was waiting to do that for today. I was hoping that patch was out so we could go over all the new things in the patch. But that is so much your experience with Star Citizen if you get involved with this. You will always be waiting for more. You will always be going, well, that patch is supposed to be out. Again, they don't throw anything out until it's finalized, until it's done. So here we are. That's the Star Citizen experience in a nutshell right now. Is there's a lot of cool stuff, but it doesn't always get pushed out when they plan to. They run into bugs and stuff like that. But when you're pushing the limits and you're trying to do things nobody's ever done, how do you plan for that?